So how do you network at a company, at your job, when all you have are virtual meetings? In this video, we're going to give you 5 tips on how do you network like a pro within your company so that you can still continue to form connections and relationships, even though you're just working through a screen.
The first step is to virtually participate in skip level meeting. What does it mean to do that? It means you bypass your manager or your manager's manager and you go to somebody higher up in the company. The other day, one of my clients, her manager quit, and all of a sudden she had to report to the VP in the company. And she was freaking out because she never met with the VP. And that shouldn't be the case. You should regularly skip your manager, go to somebody else in the company, and have chats with them about your career, about your ambitions, about their ideas, about your ideas, and make sure you are very well known in the company at all the levels.
For the second tip, you can make sure to participate in all hands calls. You can do that in 2 ways. One, as a presenter. Two, just to chime in on the meetings, to say something, to ask questions, and really to participate in that way. So both of those ways are going to be great. They're going to help you get noticed within the company, and especially being a presenter or helping set up the all hands meeting will get you way more noticed and put you on the map of leaders and other individuals to really get your name out there.
The third thing that you can do is leverage your existing meetings that you have throughout the day. So you probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meetings in a given day. And if it's all virtual, it's a little bit tough before how do you chat with people or chat with them after. So one thing that you can do is maybe Chaz is in the meeting and he's saying something interesting. I can privately message him in the chat and say, hey, that's a really good point. Would love to chat with you about that initiative after the meeting, or would love to set up some time with you. So that's one thing that you can do, privately message people. Another thing that you can do is you can set up a time to connect afterwards. So maybe the meeting ends and I go, hey, Peter, do you have a minute right now? And he goes, yeah, sure, what's up? And I can just ask him, make a request or set up some time with him or comment on something that he said in the meeting. So you've got to go out of your way now to leverage the regular meetings that you have, because you don't have that in-person time of everyone leaves the meeting together and you go outside and you're chatting with someone before you go to your next thing. That's just not happening anymore. Everyone just clicks leave meeting and that's the end of that. So these are 2 things that you can do: message people privately, or you can connect with them afterwards. But you do have to put yourself out there and take that first step.
Just one thing to be aware of when you're messaging people privately is to always stay on the positive, because you have to think that all these messages are being tracked. And also, you don't want to make a mistake, send a negative message about the CEO or about the meeting, and then accidentally send it to everybody instead of a private message. So always be careful, because this is your brand we're talking about. Always be positive. Always use your best judgment when you send these private messages.
The fourth way you can network like a pro within your company is to join the groups. A lot of the times your company will offer groups that you can join. They might be a social group, or they could be a more professionally oriented group. For example, I was working at a large organization right out of college, and for me, they had a leadership group for aspiring leaders and leaders to grow within the company. I love leadership and everything around it. So at that point, I knew I had to get better and to be the leader that I knew I could be. So I joined that group and it was going great, and really got a chance to connect with other future leaders of the company. So you can also do this with social groups, but there's always an opportunity to meet other people within the company that you may not otherwise talk to, that you could strike up a friendship with, or at least just have another connection within the company so you're more well known and more networked in.
Yeah, so I love that point, Chaz, about social groups as well. So I joined the ski and snowboard club in my first large company, and I met tons of people that I would have never met if I just worked in my own function. I met people, I was in IT at the time, I met people in sales and UX and design, And I actually formed some relationships and learned a little bit about the products that they were working on. And if I wanted to move into that area, I know that they would have given me a good recommendation if I wanted that. So it doesn't have to be particularly professionally focused in any way. In fact, sometimes it can be, you might find a random connection that you never would have thought of.
So the fifth tip is to participate in Slack channels. Just imagine right now your two portals to your company are this screen right here through Zoom or any virtual device, or it's the Slack channels if they use Slack channel or equivalent. So you need to be present in both. And I know some of my clients, they prefer not to participate in Slack, or they feel it's a burden. And I want to encourage you to do it, because the screen here demonstrates your face or anchors your face, also your voice. The Slack channel anchors and builds your brand around your name, because people will see your name and then your messages. So make sure you do participate and add value in those Slack channels.
And even if your company doesn't have Slack specifically, there may be some type of messaging or communication or platform that you can comment on, share with, talk to people, talk in the group. The whole point is just to not only present yourself well virtually on screen, but also through communication outside of the screen, through interaction that way.
So those are 5 things that you can do to start networking in a virtual environment. And yes, we know that it's a little bit more difficult. So you do have to put yourself out there a little bit more than you're used to. But even if you try one of these things, maybe it's privately messaging someone after a meeting, or deciding to join a social group that you normally wouldn't get to meet these types of people, that's what's going to slowly expand your network. And you never really know the one person that you meet that might completely change something in the career trajectory or a project that you might end up working on.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. As always, like, subscribe for more videos. We release them every single week, so be sure to keep a lookout for that. Hit the bell notification and you'll get notified every time we release a new video to help you improve your public speaking and communication skills.